All right, let's talk about heavy lifting. Okay, so I often get the question, what is considered heavy? You're saying I should lift heavy as a runner. What does that mean? So, in order to see strength gains, in order to stress the muscle, heavy means that it's, first of all, relative. Heavy for me is different than heavy for you or from my husband or from someone else, okay? So, in order for it to be effective, it has to be hard enough for you. That's the first thing. It has to be close enough to muscle failure in order to really generate that signal that growth has to happen, okay? If I pick up 5 pound dumbbells and I'm doing bicep curls, I could do that for minutes without having any issues. But someone who has not experienced or someone who hasn't done strength training at all, maybe even a little kid, cannot use 5 pounds to do those bicep curls. It's all relative. Okay? I personally can curl 20 pounds. But if you haven't been lifting for years, for someone like me, you can't curl 20 pounds, okay? So it has to be hard enough for you in order to generate that signal for growth, for gaining strength, okay? So that's number one. It's not the number of reps that you do, it's how hard the reps are for you that counts, okay? So what I want you to do is pick a weight for a move that you think that you can lift. And I need you to think that it not just one rep, okay? One rep is easier with a lot heavier weight than if you need to do 10 reps, 12 reps, 15 reps, okay? I don't personally do any reps over 15. I go for strength versus the endurance aspect, and oftentimes a weight is not heavy enough if you are supposed to do 20 or 30 reps of something, okay? That would be more on the endurance side versus the strength side of heavy lifting. So let's say we're going to lift for 10 reps. We're going to do 3 sets of 10. Pick a weight that you think that you can lift for 10 reps at a time that's going to be hard. Okay? So just using the example of a bicep curl. Let's say I pick up 15s. I want you to do as many reps as possible until you reach muscle failure and you cannot, with proper form, do a bicep curl anymore. Okay? Let's say I can do 40. I would probably cut myself off if I was side by side with someone doing this exercise. But if I'm doing bicep curls with 15s and I can do 40 reps, that's not heavy enough for me. My goal is to lift heavy enough, or a weight heavy enough to complete 10 reps with good form, okay? So I'm going to set those 15s down, and I'm going to pick up, I wish I had 17 and a halves. I don't. I have 20s. But if I had 17 and a halves, I would pick those up and I would do, again, bicep curls with good form, do as many as possible, and let's say I can do 25 or even 20. Again, that's too many reps. I'm aiming for 10 reps of heavy lifting that I can complete with good form. I'm going to set those 17.5s down. I'm going to pick up my 20s, okay? I'm aiming, again, remember, for 10 reps. So I'm doing bicep curls. Let's say I can do 13 with that 20-pound weight, okay? Bicep curls are, a lot of upper body moves are tricky because an increase from 10s to 15s, that's a big jump. 5 pounds is a big jump for your arms versus your legs, it's not, okay? Going from 25s to 30s, yes, it's an adequate amount, but it's not a huge jump, that 5-pound difference for your legs versus your arms, okay? So yeah, it's a little tricky with upper body, but I want to use this as an example. So I do 13 reps with these 20-pound dumbbells for my bicep curls. That is heavy. That's heavy lifting, okay? So if you do 5 or more reps for your with your target weight, that's not heavy enough. You need to increase your weight. If you're within that 5 count in between, if you're aiming for 10 reps and you do within 10 to 15, that is heavy enough for you, okay? So lifting until failure, once you hit that amount, so I hit 13 reps, that set counts as my first set. So I still need to do 2 more sets with that weight, okay? Now, in my situation or in any situation where you're kind of stuck between 2, what you can do is, okay, I did 13 reps. I know that I can do 10 reps, obviously, with good form. I'm going to pick up my 22.5s and see, can I do 10 reps with good form with these? If I can't, that's fine. I know that I can start with my 20s, okay? So the exercise to figure out what is heavy for you is to pick up a weight that you think that you can lift for the number of reps that you need to be doing for your program. Mine are 10, 12, or 15 reps. And do as many reps as you can with good form until muscle failure. If that's more than 5 reps over your set rep count, it's not heavy enough. Increase your weights. Do the same thing. Do your move until failure with good form. If that is over 5 reps, 5 reps more than what you're required to do, it's still not heavy enough. If you're within 5 reps of what you need to do, that's your weight. You can test it by going up 1 more to see if you can still do your required rep count with good form with that heavier weight. But if you can't, that's okay. And that rep or that set counts as your first rep of how many ever sets you need to do. Okay, so that set counts as my first set, and I need to do 3 sets of 10. So I need to do 2 more sets of 10 reps for the program that I'm doing, okay? Now, the other part, when you get to upper body or really any move, if you are stuck on using 10s for bicep curls and it's like, gosh, I wish that I had 12.5s, because 15s, I can easily do 10 reps with my 10-pound dumbbells for my bicep curls, but when I go up to 15, I can only do 4. This is the other way that you can make strength gains while using the weights that you have. So start with that heavier weight that you can use or that you can lift with good form for how many ever reps you can do, even if it's 1 rep. Pick that weight up, do your reps, drop them down, and then pick up the other weight, the little bit lesser weight that you have been using, that you've been stuck on, and finish out your set, okay? So if I'm using in this example, let's say 15-pound dumbbells, and I can do 4 reps with good form before I'm like, nope, this 5th one, my form is going to be slacking, my bicep is going to come forward, or I'm going to be using momentum to try to get them up, I'm going to drop them down, pick up my 10s, and do my last 6 reps, okay? That's a strength gain. That is using 15 pounds for 4 reps and then 10 pounds for 6 reps. That's a strength gain. That's better than using the 10-pound weights for all 10 reps. That's awesome. Celebrate that. Maybe the next week you can do 6 reps with that 15-pound weight and then drop down and do the other 4 with your 10 pounds. And then maybe the week after that, you can finally do 9, 10 reps with that heavier weight that you couldn't do when you were stuck on 10s for so long. So that's another way that you can increase your strength and bump up in weight when you are stuck on a specific weight. So hopefully both of those situations make sense on what is considered heavy lifting. Remember, it's relevant and it's really relative to you. It has to be hard enough for you, and it has to be close enough to muscle failure that it's going to trigger that signal for growth. Okay, go through that exercise, figure out what weight you should be lifting, and you only have to do that the first time. Write down that weight also, write down the weight, write down the sets and the reps that you did, so that next week when you do that same move, you know what you lifted last week. You can immediately start with that weight, or you can bump up your weight to the next one to see how many reps or sets you can do with that heavier weight before dropping back down. Okay, hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have questions about it, but strength training is extremely beneficial for runners. Lifting heavy is extremely beneficial for runners, but really all athletes in general, everyone in general. And I think it's just the unknown of what is heavy, what is considered heavy lifting, that holds people back from actually pushing themselves and knowing how to push themselves. And that takes practice.